Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Women's Wisdom. Women's Wisdom is brought to you by your host, me, Nicole Cassidy, and through these series, you'll hear from some incredible women who are living their ultimate life. Today, I'm going to be speaking with a beautiful soul sister of mine who's doing some incredible work in the world. We're going to take you behind the scenes of her life, her story, and uncover some wisdom so you can start to implement this into your life. Get ready because we do have some juiciness to reveal. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my beautiful soul sister and mentor, Regan Hillyer. Regan Hillyer is a serial entrepreneur, energetic coach, and global speaker. She's the founder of Regan Hillyer International, a company dedicated to helping people have it all on their terms in whatever way that looks like for them. Regan's wisdom has gone viral on social media, resulting in impacting multiple millions of people every single week. Through her online platforms, her in-person speaking engagements and retreats, Regan allows people to accelerate the journey of remembering who they truly are so that they are able to create a soul-aligned life that they are madly in love with. Welcome, Regan. I am so grateful to have you here. How are you?
Thank you, Nicole. I'm so good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yay! So I know that your life is super busy, even though you haven't been traveling as much as you usually travel. So tell us, what has it been like for Regan in the space of being grounded in one place?
You know what? It's been amazing. It's been unusual. I think this is the first time I've stopped and I've been in one place, one country for, I think, 7 or 8 years. And that's kind of a long time. I didn't realize that till the other day. And I was thinking, when was the last time I was in one place for 3 or 4 months? And I was like, oh, that was probably nearly about 8 years ago. So it's been interesting. I'm very grateful for the pause in the sense of not constantly getting on planes in different environments in different countries, and feel like even though I had that really down as a lifestyle, it's been so beautiful to ground and, you know, eat from the local markets and just like be in this beautiful grounded place and really feel the sense of home here. So it's had its challenges, but I'm also super grateful for the gifts that have revealed as well.
Beautiful. But are you like just dying to get on a plane soon, or are you okay with being in lockdown for a little bit longer?
You know, one of my clients asked me that the other day. She's like, so are you going crazy yet? And I was like, you know what? I'm not. I thought I would be, but surprisingly, I'm not. I think because I'm so connected to the present moment, I'm okay being here. The other day, it was about a week ago, I had one yearning for the travel again. And it was interesting. I felt into it. I was like, what am I missing about this? And this time last year, I was in Greece and I went by myself actually for about 10 days before Wampa and Danny came and joined me. And I was actually doing the activation for the Intuitive Goddess codes on Delos Island off Mykonos. And so I went to Mykonos by myself, and I just remember waking up every day and like walking down to the town and you know, having the different smells and the sounds and the different culture, and like smiling at the people and going into a little local coffee store and like ordering a tea and just watching the people go by and replying to my emails on my laptop from that place and going into the little boutiques. And I just, there's a part of me that just appreciates and is now even more so grateful for that variety and being able to feel those different experiences and countries and cultures. There was a part of me that missed that. There was a part of me that was like, oh, like that would be so fun, right? But yeah, you know, again, I'm so grateful to be here, but there was this little twinge where I was like, oh, you know, I missed that piece of it, you know?
Yeah, I totally feel you on that. And I feel like having the privilege to actually do some traveling and working for you last year was just incredible, to go and experience the world, but also being grounded as well. And it's allowed myself and my partner to actually work on our relationships, which is just something that we really, really needed. I wanted to ask you, because obviously both you and your partner, you know, you guys are both in business together and also separately. What's it like actually working with someone else like that, especially your partner? Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I wouldn't swap it for the world. I really do love it. And it does have some challenges. You know, we were talking about this the other day, and we're literally together 24/7 every single day, you know, working together, loving together, living together, everything, right? And it's kind of crazy. And I've been chatting to, friends and also clients, and I think people are feeling potentially a lot of tension and difference in their relationships right now. They're like, oh my God, my partner's with me 24/7. And I'm like, oh, that's my life.
Yeah,
I never
definitely.
lived a life where we would go separate ways. Here and there we might be, in another city or another country for a week or two, but most of the days, 360 days of the year, maybe we're together and working this way. And so I think it's really about finding balance. It's about really getting in tune with the other person and honoring, their rhythms and what's important for them, and also being deeply connected to yourself. There are moments throughout our day where we go and we are super alone and we have time by ourselves. And then there's moments where we come together for conscious connection in relationship and in business. And I feel that it's really important to be intentional with all those layers when you are in all these different relationships, because in the past, I think we've fallen into like just business, for example.
Yep.
And then we're like, wait, like what happened to our actual loving relationship? Even though everything's good, we're only talking about like work purpose stuff right now.
Right.
And then we can go the other way where we're just like fully in love and in this honeymoon, and we're like, oh wait, our business, So it's about really finding this ebb and flow and the balance of it, and being really intentional with the spaces you create and the time you allocate for that. So I feel like we're in a really beautiful rhythm, but it's definitely taken some work over the years to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's kind of next for you guys at the moment? I know that you've got so many projects that you work on, and so many businesses. So what is the next thing for you guys that's coming up?
Sorry, one of the just ran at me. You saw my face.
It's so funny.
Oh my goodness. So what's next? Well, right now, it's really beautiful. I feel like Wamp is stepping deeply into his individual purpose even more than ever right now, which I'm just witnessing and I'm celebrating so deeply. It's such an important piece for him. And so there's a big part of me energetically supporting that and witnessing that and loving that. And then also going deeper, of course, into my own developments and everything like that. And, in terms of our joint container, we're always looking at how do we be of greater service and what is the next upgrade. And it's been really interesting actually being here on the ground in Costa Rica and really feeling that sense of home and really feeling that sense of being grounded, and really in some ways for me being more connected to the land than ever before. I feel like I've always had a deep connection with the land, but it's a little bit challenging when you're there for 10 days or you're there for a week and then you're somewhere else for 2 weeks, And so just really feeling the energy here. And so one of the projects that we're actually birthing through right now is acquiring some land in Costa Rica, and firstly building a home, a vortex, a sanctuary, but eventually, building that out and opening that as a space for people to come, a space for people to rejuvenate, a space for people to really come and activate the next level of themselves. And it's definitely not going to be a big commercial retreat center, but more like a sacred space of home where our nearest and dearest and deep clients and people we love and care about so deeply can really come into this space. And so that's, I think, exciting. And it's definitely not something that we've like talked publicly about or anything like that, but it feels really good to share it here and to voice that with you. And that's been a big part of what we've been doing actually on the ground here, looking for land and feeling all these different places and really dreaming into this vision together.
Beautiful. That's so good. And how about you? What is your next thing? What are you focusing on now?
I have many next things. I think for me, I'm in a place right now where I'm looking at everything and everything feels so good and it feels so aligned and it feels so exciting and expansive. And my question I've been asking myself a lot recently is, okay, cool. What's my next? What's this next level? And how do I scale this and grow this and expand this to impact more people and go into this deeper space of alignment, but to do this in a more aligned way than ever before? And so it's interesting. A lot of my focus has not been in like big new projects that I've never, thought about before. It's actually been taking what I'm doing and looking for the upgrade in that. It's been taking what I'm doing and looking at how do I now do this better? So for example, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that now I've been creating.
Hi, friends.
Hi, little baby Mia, who's jumped on camera, who loves it anytime.
We were just talking about Mia. That's the dog, right? Loves the camera.
Can't miss a live stream or a podcast interview, hey. So, if you go to my YouTube channel right now, you'll see that, for years I've been creating free content, but right now I'm asking myself, okay, what's the most impactful content I can be creating? And I'm looking at this from every angle, from my messaging, which I'm getting out there, to my activations and my meditations, to also now working deeper with sound frequencies. And actually we have a team in-house now that are, creating our own frequencies. In the past, I would purchase frequencies and, have backing tracks, but now I was like, I want our own frequencies. And I want this to be available for people. So we're doing that. And then we're also looking at, upgrading our graphics, and you'll see as well, there's many like really cool pieces of visual art that have been produced with different pieces of sacred geometry, and they're moving on the videos. And so I feel like I'm in a place where I'm just like, how do I make it all better? What's this next level? What's this upgrade? What's this place where I get to accelerate everything that I'm doing because it feels so good? But how do I do this in a way just to play at a bigger scale and a better scale,
That's amazing. And obviously, like, Regan, you've gone through this massive journey of deep inner work to get to who you are today. Tell us, what did you even think that you were going to get here, or tell us about who Regan was before you today?
Totally. Yeah. So, in the very, very, very beginning, I couldn't see this far in front of me. I really couldn't. I remember, 10, 11, 12 years ago, even as a child, I knew that I was here to do something big, and that's all I knew. Even as a child, people would ask me, what do you want to grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I would always say, like, I'm not sure. I don't really know. Like, I didn't really even have this dream as a child. Even as a teenager, I didn't have this dream. Even when I started in business, I was like, I just want to not have a job. That was my initial movement for being my own boss and being in business. I was like, I don't want to work a 9-to-5 job. And I know I'm heading that way. So I want to create my own freedom. I wasn't sitting there going, I want to impact millions of people and on social media and go viral online and do this. And I was like, no.
And Facebook deleted and all of that.
Definitely was not that. So I feel like I've given myself permission to dream into my vision step by step and piece by piece. And I feel it's important right now, if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, to know that you don't necessarily need the whole big picture out in front of you. I mean, even now, if you ask me like, okay, where are you going to be 10 years from now? I'm not really sure. I don't really know. I know the feeling that I want to create. I know the type of life that I want to create. I know the level of the impact that I want to really help people create in this world. I know those core things, but how that's going to look, how I'm going to get there, how many businesses, if it's online, I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm not into trying to control all the pieces as I go. I am into the feeling and the frequency, and I can connect deeply, deeply, deeply to that, like 50 years out and more from now. But I can't really tell you like, oh, it's going to be this and it's going to be that and it's going to be this. I don't know. So I think for me, it's been an unfolding, it's been an evolutionary process. It's been okay with not necessarily having all the answers and not knowing, and just being able to see a few steps ahead and then getting there and then asking, okay, cool, I'm here. Now where do I go? I remember a moment when I moved to Bali, and I was probably maybe making around 10K a month at that time. And I moved to Bali, and I remember sitting by the pool in Bali, and I was like, what next? I don't even know what my next is. Like, if someone had asked me, like, what's your vision? Where are you going? I'd be like, just more of this, right? I really couldn't see that far in front of me. And I realized I got to a place where with that 10K a month and living in Bali, I'd satisfied, this part of me that wanted to create this life of freedom. I was living that life of freedom and really what I wanted in that way at that time. And it was this weird thing where I was like, well, what more could I even want? I'm so happy and grateful with where I am. And that's when I had to do the work of expanding and allowing myself to dream bigger and reminding myself that this isn't about me. Like, this is about the people that I'm put here to touch and help and inspire. And that was like a good few weeks of like accelerating and expanding that, So I feel like there's been lots of micro moments like that to allow all of this to evolve through.
Yeah, amazing. So cool. It's just because like I hear some people, especially when I work with clients, where they're like, this is what I want to create, but they don't understand that it is an unfolding journey or process. And sometimes, I mean, it's just like driving a car, right? You can only see 100 meters in front of you. You can't see the whole path. You know where you're going, but you can't see it. And so it's just really trusting the process around that. And I think that's the biggest thing when I first started working with you was the trust and surrender process, because I used to be such a control freak and trying to like have all the plans, all the steps in place to get to where I was going. So I think that's been a massive thing that I've learned from you as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so important. And I think we were all there. I think we all wanted to try and control this experience of life at some point in time. And that's really the game for me. You know, it's like, okay, cool. Like, how deeply can I surrender and allow these visions to come through me, staying in the highest alignment to divine light and service? Like, how much can I actually allow myself to lean into that?
Beautiful. So cool. And obviously, like with every single day, do you have some sort of ritual that you do? Obviously, when you get up, like, is there something that you do every single day in order for you to do the things that are necessary for your visions? Like, tell us more about your ritual process, or if you have one even.
Totally. I definitely do. And it does vary every day. You know, every day I tune in and I ask myself, what does my soul need right now? You know, I'm such a rebel at heart that when I started out in the personal development industry, it's like, you've got to wake up at 5 a.m. and do this thing and do that. I was like doing it all, and then I would like hate it, or I would not do it and I'd rebel against it. So for me, it's around creating the rituals and the routines in a way where they're totally free and in alignment with my soul. So there are some non-negotiables. Like, I wake up, right? I have like water with some vinegar or lemon. Like, there are some few things that happen, but in terms of the internal work, I'm asking myself, okay, is it meditation? Is it journaling? Is it going for a walk? Is it just being in total stillness? Is it putting on like super loud music and dancing around? Like, I'm really just listening to myself each and every single day. And with the timing on that as well, sometimes it's like 10 minutes and I'm done. Sometimes it's 4 hours and I'm like deeply lost in my alchemy, because I know that there's things within me to shift and recalibrate in order to do this. You know, even with my sleeping, right? You know, for so many people, it's like, you've got to wake up early, you've got to be up at 5 a.m. And yes, but also no, you know, like even this morning, I woke up at 7:45 a.m., no alarm, and really gave myself permission to sleep. My body's like, you need rest, you need to sleep. I woke up then, and then it felt really good, you know? So I feel it's just about really listening and trusting your rhythm. And you must be doing this from a place of having your channel actually clear though, you know, because if you're full of self-sabotage and you're full of like, you haven't cleared your body, and you're full of bad eating habits, and you're full of like your mind going crazy. Like, if you're in that place, you're like, well, my soul wants to sleep till midday and then eat chocolate cake and then do nothing. It's like, that's probably not your soul.
Yeah.
No. What's going on under the surface, right? To actually look at. So it's also, it goes hand in hand, and you've got to be in this place of actually, you know, clearing and getting your channel clear for all of that to work.
And so obviously food and nutrition is super important for both you and Wampa. What are some of the things that you guys have started to implement into your life to clear that channel so that you are open to receiving, you know, the guidance and the nudges that come through you, so that you can start to impact the things that you want to impact?
Totally. Well, our diet is that we literally eat from the soul, right? So we're always asking our body, like, what's in the highest? What's going to give us the most energy? What feels really good? What do we need right now? And then we're trusting that. So we eat organic as much as possible. Like, I would say 99.9% of the time, unless there's like a huge exception, right? And, you know, one of the rituals and I guess processes which has really helped us is clearing the physical vessel. So we're really deep into cleansing and clearing. Again, we don't have like a routine with this. It's not like, oh, we water fast for 5 days a month because that's the secret formula. You know, it's just about listening and asking. There was a moment, you might even remember when this was, maybe it was 3-4 months ago. I think it was near the start of the lockdown. And I was just guided to not eat food, right? And I just, like, you remember, I was like, I'm still not eating. And I was guided just to literally have water. Well, actually, I started on coconuts here in Costa Rica. I had peppers. And then I was guided to just have water with a few supplements, you know, like some spirulina, some chlorophyll, like, you know, just some basic things added to, so it's more of an assisted fast. But I literally looked at food and my body's like, no, right? And I was like, okay, cool. Maybe I'll do this for a few days. days. I'm pretty sure I went for like 2 weeks, maybe longer. Maybe it was 3 weeks. It was a long time. And I love food and I love making food. And now I'm like in a kitchen with the best organic food ever, which usually I don't have, which I'm traveling. I'm like super excited. And my whole body's like, don't eat. Right. And so through that process, when I was doing that, I was receiving the most powerful downloads. I had so much energy, more than ever. And then I literally woke up one day and I was like, it's time to eat again, right? And I started out with a smoothie and I gently brought my body back. But I just had so much clarity. Wampa was fasting earlier this week for 2-3 days on peepers. I was like, nah, I did like half a day and I was like, no, I don't feel to have any more. I'm going to have dinner, you know? And so it's really just trusting the flow. One thing which we have been doing every single month is doing a liver gallbladder flush, which has been really powerful. You know, your liver and your gut is one of the ways which the information from the soul speaks through to you. And so again, if that's clogged and if that's full of like oils or alcohol or anything, which supplements even, right, get passed through the liver, if that's clogged up, it can make your access point a little bit harder to access. And so again, we've been doing that on the new moon every single month. And that's been a really awesome process to do.
Amazing. I was just looking at your necklace here.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Wampas.
I love it. Sharing jewelry. I'm more about sharing clothes with my partner sometimes because it's
I love it.
cold here in Melbourne.
That's so funny. Yeah, it's tiger's eye, so it's really grounding, and it's actually it's a dragon on it right here. And so one of the things that Wampa really connects to is the dragon energy. He's a full dragon. I'm not so dragon, but you know, he needs his dragon. And the tiger's eye is really grounding and beautiful. And yeah, right before this interview, I was like, oh, I feel I need a crystal. And I saw this and I'm like, oh, it's this one. So yeah, again, it's intuitive. It's not like, oh, this goes with the red and I think I should wear this with that. Like, it's not from the mind. My soul was just like, put that one on. And it's funny, you noticed it, right? Because you're obviously feeling the energy of it in some level.
Yeah. And it's so great that you just brought that up around being intuitive and actually like trusting those nudges, because I find when I started doing this, of course, we've been so conditioned to using our mind to create the things that we wanted to create or to take action based on what our mind is logically thinking. What was it like for you when you first started doing that process? Because obviously now you're in that intuitive space, you're taking action from that space.
I think when I first realized that the soul was even a thing and that there was guidance and there was intuition, it was kind of like going to the school of hard knocks and learning like a whole lot of really hard lessons real fast. And so I feel like when I started tuning into this and being aware of this, I'd like feel the guidance and I'd feel intuition. It'd be like a firm yes or a firm no. And then me being me, I'd go do the opposite and my mind would be like, wow, here's 20 reasons why you should say yes, not no. And so I'd go and say yes, and then I'd get slapped in the face, right? And something would happen and I'd be like, I knew it, right? How many times have we said that to ourselves? Damn, I knew it. Damn, I had that feeling. Oh, I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust my gut. What was that? Oh, next time I'm going to listen, right? And so instead of beating myself up with that, I use those as opportunities to learn from that, to go, okay, cool. Why didn't I trust my intuition? All right, cool. Like, why don't I feel powerful enough to trust what's coming through me, right? What would happen if I did trust it? And then there were moments, of course, where I did trust my intuition. I was like, haha, I knew it and I did it. Like, yes, or I knew it and I didn't do it. Yes. And I would, instead of ignoring that, like most people do, I would really celebrate that. And I'd be like, I listened to my intuition. I did like a little happy dance. I'd be like, yes, this is so good. Yay. Well done, Regan. Do more of that. I'd really program myself to celebrate that. So my system recognized that that was a really, really, really good thing. And, you know, I don't think now even where it's, I'm 100% aligned to my soul every time. Yes, no, full discernment. No, like we're in this human experience. There's still moments like, oh my God, I still didn't listen. What's going on? Recalibrate, shift, learn, and move forward, you know? So it's a constant experience, but it is like working out a muscle. You do get stronger and stronger and stronger with it. But it takes practice as well. It takes commitment.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that because you've been doing the practice and things like that, you're at the point where you are making, decisions that some people maybe are not making yet. For instance, financial investments and things like that. What has that been like, especially at the level that you're playing at? What's it like doing those intuitive nudges and actually acting on that? Does it feel scary sometimes, you know?
Yeah, sometimes it does feel scary. And I feel like the bigger the choices you're making, and especially when you're doing this from a place of intuition, potentially the more is at stake, right? So this is where
Right.
the mastery comes in, because you're like, okay, cool. If I don't listen and I screw this up, then there's this, like there's more to screw up in many ways, you know? So I feel, again, it's just about the practice and it's about going into it, but it's really fun, to be honest. Like when you really trust yourself and you know that you're saying yes to something or something's unfolding because you listen to yourself, it's like it makes it even better to celebrate it, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And with all of the guidance that you've, obviously it's been a journey for you to awaken up to this. I know that we've been in plant medicine ceremonies. Like, tell us about how that has made an impact in your journey as well.
I would say it's probably the most impactful piece of my journey. If I was to summarize it, yeah, people ask me that they're like, okay, like what's like the tool that's accelerated you the most, or the thing in your life which has unlocked the most for you? And there's really like two top things that are pretty tied. And the first one is working with sacred medicine and the way that we do that. And the second one is my divine union, and using that as a mirror every single day,
Oh,
and
yeah.
cultivating that to go deeper into love, into manifestation, into surrender, into self-awareness, you know? So those are really the two things. And if we look at what they both have in common, they're both mirrors for your consciousness, right? I've never
Mhm.
thought about that. So I just said that right now, but it's like, oh, interesting. They both allow you to see yourself deeper at a deeper layer. So yeah, in terms of the sacred medicine, I'm so grateful, and it's such a gift. And I don't believe that if I hadn't have done all this work with medicine, I wouldn't be here now, or, you know, I wouldn't have
Mhm.
manifested things in my life. I believe it is going to happen anyway. But I also see, with working with the medicine and helping so many people do that, it's an accelerator. It's
Yeah.
like something which might manifest in your life 2 years out, 5 years out, 10 years out, comes in like now, right? Because you skip timelines, you upgrade your consciousness, you alter your frequency from a cellular level all through every single layer of your being. And from this place, things just get faster if you have the capacity to actually embody them and say yes to them, and the clarity to move through all of this. So yeah, for me, it's a tool of acceleration.
Hmm. Yeah, you're the queen of quantum leaping, quantum results, manifestations just like that.
It's super fun.
So cool. Oh, this has been amazing, Regan. There's so many other things that I want to go into, but I feel like this is enough to digest right now. I actually just quickly wanted to touch on, I know that you've been, I can't remember what it is through your stories, but you've been talking a lot around charities that you guys work around. So I did notice around the clothing that you're wearing as well, like you do, and you're really super intentional about the clothing. Tell us a little bit about that. I feel like it's important to share that through as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's interesting you bring this up, because this is something I've logically known in my mind for many
Mm,
years. Not new information to me, but it started to become more and more present to me, and more important to me as well. So I really believe the clothing that you wear is energy, you know, and I'm tapping into this more and more because I feel different when I wear different fabrics, different things, different pieces of clothing. And so I started asking myself, like, why am I feeling different? It's beyond the aesthetics or like what I look like in the clothes, right? Even though, of course, we get to choose that and we get to have it all, right? Like you get to look amazing in whatever you're wearing, of course. But it went beyond that. And then I realized that, you know, fabric is energy. Fabric is like encoded with energy. And wherever this piece of fabric has been prior is encoded with that. So literally, if you're buying some sort of cheap top from some store that has been manufactured in China, from like
mhm,
slave labor and children that are starving, that like all of that's in your clothes. And
mhm,
so firstly, do you want to support that? And secondly, if you're then aligning to the highest frequency of manifestation in your life, well, then you're wearing a dense energy that's probably not allowing you to align to the highest frequency, right? So, you know, I'm definitely not 100% perfect with this yet. I definitely still have clothes where now I'm looking and I'm like, okay,
mhm,
that's probably not the highest vibe, even though I love that dress. Like, where has that come from? You know, so I'm still in a place of recalibrating all of this, but I'm absolutely now on the lookout for conscious designers and a term someone introduced me to the other week, which is slow fashion, right? Which is like clothes that kind of take a little bit longer to produce and to make, because they're handmade and they're made with love. It's not just like factories pumping it out. So actually this top I'm wearing right now is like super simple, like yoga top, like very comfy. But again, it's made by a brand here in Costa Rica called Tanswear. And the lady, Arina, behind this, again, she employs like local women here, ticos in Costa Rica. And they're so beautiful. Like she showed me photos of them, and they're working and they make every item and encode it with love and intentions as they're doing this. Even just little yoga tops, you know, and it's all organic, the fabric, and it's from local organic materials here in Costa Rica. It's not like shipped in from China in some factory, and it has a huge carbon footprint. Like it's just different, you know? So again, I'm not like a Nazi on this. I'm not like, I'm never going to touch that, but I am making choices around this. You know, if you guys follow my stories too, you'll know that I love Exaya in Australia is one of the brands I have a lot of their clothes from, and they're like super pretty. Like I would wear that stuff out in LA or New York, or, you know, do a photo shoot in that. But again, like they have like whole give back campaigns built in with their clothes. They look after their workers on their stories. They're like, hey, here is our factory and here's our people, and this is who made your clothes. And they're like so transparent around what's going on behind the scenes of their company, where I'm like, yes, like I'm the first to tag them and support them and talk about it. So yeah, I think it's something still unfolding through me, but I've definitely become more and more aware of it. And I think it's important to start speaking about.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I think it's also brought awareness to me as well, because, you know, like, of course, logically you understand, right? You know, it just makes logical sense that whatever you're wearing, whatever you feel your body with, whatever you're listening to, everything, it contributes to that frequency, that energy. But actually choosing and being intentional with what you're wearing and understanding where it's coming from is so important, even though I've not, right? But just you bringing that to my awareness is like, wow, okay, yeah. We've got to look at
absolutely. Yeah. And again, I'm in process with it. And so anyone listening to that, like tag me in Conscious Brands as well. Like, let's really get this out together and like share this and talk about it with your girlfriends. And like, you know, even for Wampa, like I'm always looking, we see some awesome men's clothing and I'm like, it's made here. Like, no, I don't want to support that. And we found, I forget the name of the company, but we found someone online the other day who's like hand making the clothes in Tulum in Mexico. It's all organic and it's super beautiful. It's like, yes, you should wear everything they have. Like it's stunning. Like it's so pretty. So you can have both. I think a lot of people think like, oh, if it's like natural and organic, then it's going to be yoga clothes, or it's going to be boring, or it's going to be like just a shitty color. But like you really can have fashion and you can look after your beauty and your aesthetics. Like, trust me, I'm the first. I'm all about it. I'm like, yes, go for it. Like embellish yourself, have fun with it. Like, you know, be the feminine or masculine expression that you choose. Like I'm all about that. I feel that's also important when it comes to your energy, but it doesn't have to be either or. Abundance is like, hey, you get both of it, right?
Yeah. So cool. Oh, I can't wait to do some shopping now. Yay. So amazing. Oh, this has just been an incredible chat. I just want to thank you again, Regan, so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule and just coming in and sharing all of the wisdom that you've shared today. I feel like people are going to go back and listen to this again and again and again and take so many different notes and value from this. I really appreciate it.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me on. I feel like it's been such a just raw and authentic conversation and we've gone deep. It's been so beautiful.
Yay. Thank you, beauty. And thank you so much to everyone that has tuned in, listened. Please make sure you share this chat with anyone who you think will benefit from this. Go ahead and subscribe as well. And I can't wait to see you on the next episode. Sending you so much love.